Former Somali President Hassan Sheikh Mahmud won the country's presidency again in a vote by parliamentarians. Mahmud, 66 years old, who ruled Somalia from 2012 to 2017, defeated the current president Mohammed Abdullah Mohammed by 214 votes to 110 in a third runoff.
From the United States point of view, I suspect that the United States has much higher expectations of the new president. I know, at least during my time in the administration, we were extremely disappointed with the previous president, Farmajo. Hopefully, President Hassan Sheikh Mahmud coming back. His first term was not that great, quite a few problems. Hopefully he learned from that, and coming back now, hopefully it will be a much better term.
Hassan Sheikh Mahmud is considered one of the accepted candidates due to what he presented to Somalia in his mandate, including the United States recognition of the Somali government. He also contributed to the revival of the educational system in the country and worked on restructuring government institutions in an advanced manner. He was courageous in solving most of the political problems quietly.
That period was very difficult because there was a lot of promise. For example, these elections were supposed to be the very first time in Somali's history that there would actually be direct elections. Women would be able to fully participate. And Farmajo ended up doing what we would call a bait and switch. Initially, he said, no, we can't have the direct elections. It will be an indirect election, but still, much better than the last ones. It turned out to be exactly like the last ones, except even worse because of the Somali political machinations. They were delayed an entire 15 months. So I believe the United States was extremely disappointed in how all of that turned out. And at the end of the day, the Somali president was elected by 327 people. And those 327 people were basically selected by the clan elders. So, someone might want to say that's democracy, but that's highly questionable.
As for the former Somali president Farmajo, who enjoys the support of Qatar and aims for another state to consolidate his control, and the Somalis describe him as a dictator, he is one of the weakest political figures in the country. He aimed to stay in the presidency for a longer period. The occurrence of a state of political impasse in the country is due to his desire to extend his term.
Well, here's the fundamental issue. The Somali government has to provide government to the people. Else, why does it exist? I mean, many times you look at the Somali quote-unquote government, and it seems like they exist to enrich themselves, to spread the wealth amongst their friends, but not to provide any kind of effective governance to the country. So as long as the Somali quote-unquote government is not governing, somebody is going to be. That's why we can, say all the terrible things about al-Shabaab that they do, and they do a lot of terrible things. But at the end of the day, if the Somali people believe that they provide a greater sense of justice and security than the Somali government, then we can keep pouring more and more troops into Somalia. We can do more training of the Somali National Army. The United Nations and the African Union can have 20,000 troops there, but al-Shabaab will not be defeated until and unless the Somali government actually governs.
Farmajo supported one of the most dangerous figures in Somalia, the terrorist Zakaria Ismail Hirsi, who was the intelligence official in the Somali al-Shabaab movement loyal to Al-Qaeda. He was entrusted with the management of the counterterrorism service, which enjoys the support of Fahad Yassin, director of intelligence.
Well, hopefully it'll be much better under the new president. Again, the new president is saying some of the right things. He's only been in office, 2 days? So, we'll just have to wait and see. Because when I visited Mogadishu, I met with, some of the NGOs and including some of the very, very, forward-looking women. And there was just an incredible amount of frustration. I mean, the Somali government has to incorporate women into their structures.
Farmajo protected people who raped the intelligence agent Ikram Tahlil, who was raped by the deputy chief of the intelligence service Abdullah Kolni and was killed after she was kidnapped, for obtaining an important files condemning Farmajo and his group. It is noteworthy that during the reign of Farmajo, the feminist activist Amna Mahmoud was assassinated, and she also had corruption files against Fahad Yassin.
You know, they will tell you that they are not destabilizing. I mean, for example, you know, Turkey has its largest embassy in the world in Somalia. I mean, the largest embassy in the entire world is in Somalia, and they're doing an awful lot of business. The same for the Middle East. I mean, Somalia, at the end of the day, has tremendous promise. You know, on the face of it, Somalia should be the most stable country in Africa, but because it is the only country that is the same ethnic group, it speaks the same language, it has the same religion. So on the face of it, those are all forces for stability. But because of the horrendous governance issues that they've had, basically since independence, it has been in total chaos. So the Middle Eastern countries and Turkey, they see the promise of a future Somalia. They absolutely see the promise of a future Horn of Africa, which is stable because of all the potential wealth and trade there. So, you know, they are taking very logical and rational steps from the point of view of their countries.
In conclusion, will the results of the Somali presidential elections put an end to the manipulation of external parties like Turkey and Qatar, where their main goal is to destabilize Somalia and turn it into an arena of chaos and corruption?
Hey, Maria Malouf here. Please click to like and subscribe to Maria Malouf TV YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.